Welcome back. You tune into your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is a fresh Monday. Now, some rather serious news right now. In 2016 to 2018, Cape Town, of course, faced a crippling drought. And since then, water levels were restored. However, in recent days, the City of Cape Town's National Department of Water and Sanitation has called for residents to lower their water consumption as the rise in water usage could lead to pre-drought levels. We do not want that. Now, last week, the mayor stipulated that Cape Town's dams are above 50%, but its model showed that dam levels would drop by below 50% by the end of summer if we don't meet the proactive water savings target. Now, joining us this morning to unpack this very important topic is the acting member of the Mayoral Committee for Water and Sanitation, Councillor Siseko Mbandezi. Siseko, thank you very much for joining us, my friend. How are you doing this morning?
Thanks for having me. I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Listen, the water issue is not that fine. Paint us a picture. What are we seeing? What are some of your concerns?
Okay. Remember, the City of Cape Town receives its water from surface level dams, and currently our dam storage is sitting at 55%, and we are worried that at the beginning of winter we may be sitting just below 50%. And that is the reason now we urge residents and businesses to conserve or be water-wise and use less water, especially for outdoor activities.
Absolutely. And while we have you here, we always speak about this, of course, load shedding having an effect on our water supply as well. What effect has it exactly? Please unpack that so we can all understand.
Okay. Look, the impact of load shedding into the water reticulation process and water supply is huge. Firstly, you understand that the production of water in water treatment plants requires energy. And now any disruption in that then disrupts the production in terms of quantity of water. That's the first thing. The second thing is that even the wastewater treatment plant and sewer pump station, because of the City of Cape Town is leveled, so 70% of our sewer pump station needs energy to be able to pump sewer into wastewater treatment plants. So now when you have load shedding problem, especially prolonged load shedding issues, that impacts on the spillages because the sewer pump stations aren't designed to have a sump at which you can store water. So, but fortunately, in the City of Cape Town, we've made significant investments in generators to try to curb the problem.
What are some of the wastewater initiatives that the city is looking at to try and curb and to not infect our clean drinking water supplies? We've seen some of those tanks overflowing with regards to the sewage, closing of beaches happened. What are you doing from your side? What's the plans going forward? Okay.
Firstly, I think it is important to highlight the fact that the sewer spillages, there are two main causes of sewer spillages. One are foreign objects that you find in the pipeline. The second one is load shedding. So what we are doing as the city, as I've indicated, we've increased our investment into generators and energy supply. Currently, we've got 93 of our sewer pump stations that have got generators. We are looking into putting UPS in some of these sewer pump stations so that there's a constant power supply into them. That's the first one. The second one is that we're doing our pipe replacements to make sure also that the infrastructure is able to deal with the pressures. And then thirdly, we are installing pressure managing valves in the potable or drinking water as well, so that you are able to stop the leaking of water from the pipelines. So the city deliberately is investing in our both clean water and wastewater to make sure that we are not finding ourselves in a disaster situation.
Well, it's good to hear that there are those plans in place, but at the end of the day, it's up to us citizens to use less water, to go about water in a, I think, in a mindful way, making sure that, you know, acting from a place where we know that we don't want another day zero.
No, we'll never have a day zero in Cape Town, because we have deliberately, in the next 8 years, we are budgeting 5 billion rand. This 5 billion rand is to make sure that we are adding 300 million liters of water a day, not from the surface water, in other words, not from the dams. It's from the water reuse at Fore, it is the aquifers drilling, and it is desalination. So these three investments that we are making, we would, at the end, make sure that we're bringing online these 300 million liters of water. So we'll never be able to get to day zero, never.
No, for sure, and I know that there's a lot of plans, so thank you very much for that. We're going to be back with Councillor Siseko in just a little bit. Cholera outbreak in South Africa as well. We will know exactly where we stand. It's my feel-good breakfast show. Welcome back. You are tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. Wonderful to be hanging out with you this morning. Now, in the past week, the City of Cape Town stipulated that water usage has reached 1 billion litres a day. Now, the city has made an important call for residents to please reduce their water usage to 850 million litres daily to avoid water restrictions and to prevent pre-drought levels. Now, joining us this morning to unpack this very important topic is the acting member of the Mayoral Committee for Water Sanitation, Councillor Siseko Mbandezi. Siseko, welcome back. Quite worrisome. There's been a cholera outbreak across Africa, 6 reported cases in Gauteng, nothing in the other provinces up until now, which is good news. But I mean, you say the word cholera and you talk about you know, a possible drought situation. You know, that is cause for some panic. What is the city doing to ensure that water is checked and monitored regularly to curb the spread of the disease?
Okay. Look, thanks. The City of Cape Town drinking water quality is excellent, right? We have been given or awarded blue drop certificates by the Department of Water and Sanitation for 3 things: the quality of our water, the quality of the management of, in fact, the management of our water quality system, and the consistency thereof. So those 3 things. So in terms of the quality of our water, we're not worried, because also we are measuring the compliance in terms of SANS 241 standards. And what we do, we test our water during the process of water production in water plants, after the process of production, and at different points in the distribution. And we do over 470,000 tests a year, which is about 250 tests weekly. Our scientific services in Athlone is the best. In fact, we train other water scientists from other municipalities in terms of checking the water quality, the management of water quality. So in terms of City of Cape Town, we're not worried, because cholera, remember, goes with the quality of water, the presence of E. coli in water. So in the City of Cape Town, we're not worried.
I think this is always the question that people start asking, you know, especially when we hear about drought levels. Is it safe to drink from the taps? And you've established that, but are there any signs that we can look out for contaminated water, especially in taps? I mean, how can residents know?
Okay, the 2 things that people can, with the eye, look out for. One, remember, water needs to be transparent. Also, it needs to be odorless, right? So those 2 things would indicate to you if there's a problem. Okay. But also sometimes in the City of Cape Town, we do get our water have a milky line kind of color. That is just a natural compound which you find in beetroot, or when there is rain after a hot summer day, you can smell in the air. That is precisely that. But also, very important, when there is risk or when there is a danger into water, scientific service would give, or we will as a city, alert people and warn them to say that you need to boil your water. But I must also state this, you know, because we're doing this massive pipe replacement program, and sometimes when we do that, we shut the water, then we replace pipes and all of that. So when it comes back, it does get that color because of the air as well in the pipes. But people should not worry, because when there is a risk, we will come up front and tell people.
All right. So it's safe to drink tap water, that we know. Just quickly, I know that residents have been urged to follow municipality guidelines with regards to water usage. We need to hit the target of 850 million litres, otherwise we are facing another drought situation. Where can people go to find out these guidelines if they are unsure?
Okay. Before we get to that, there are just 4 things that I want to say to people. Indeed, our target is 850 million litres a day. So our proactive target, and that's the first thing. The second thing is that all we are asking people to do is to reduce their outdoor water usage by 50%. So, 1, if they wash a car, a caravan, or something like that, they should use a bucket. Don't use a hose pipe, and those kinds of things. Secondly, you can install in your hose pipe a start and stop device so that you curb the usages. Thirdly, those who have pools, you know, cover your pool after you swim or whatever to stop the evaporation, because a covered pool has a 95% stoppage of evaporation. And then also children, the children should be supervised and checked when it's nice and hot in the day, so they don't play with water. So that's all we're asking. Drop your outdoor water usage by just 50%.
I think it's a simple case of just being mindful. I think we all know this. I think it's just we need to implement it, be mindful around our water usage. Just quickly, where can people go to find those guidelines?
To find the guidelines, people can go to www.capetown.gov.za, and then you can click on the guidelines of water usage.
Councillor Siseko, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Honored to have you here this morning. Thank you very much. And that is it. Just be mindful with regards to your water usage. Now, a little bit later on, still connecting on the drought issue that we are potentially facing. We're going to speak to one organisation that is making it their mission to provide clean drinking water to South Africans.